Welcome to Tuesday, February 4th. You're listening to the Day Weather Podcast. There is a lot of ground to cover, folks, as all of a sudden, weather pattern has gone through some major gyrations and changes after what was a pretty mild, pretty uneventful January. Wow, February, it's a can of worms when it comes to what's coming down the road here over the next couple of weeks. A very active pattern is developing. We've got a volatile mix of Pacific storminess and Canadian air. I always like to say, in this part of the country, Pacific air, moist, energetic Pacific air, and cold air coming out of the Northwest Territories of Canada is like gas and matches. You put those two together, and you're going to have a lot of weather in the Rockies. And that's what we just experienced with a storm winding down right now that rolled through yesterday. Many areas of central Wyoming, a foot or more around Casper, Lander, and we've got more road closures that I can mention across many areas of Wyoming, and very poor travel in the high mountain roads of Colorado and some of the plains as well. This current storm is winding down. We'll have some lingering flurries and light snow in far southern Wyoming and eastern Colorado and western Nebraska early today, but essentially the accumulating snow is done. Our next problem is going to be increasing wind. This is going to be especially true along the I-80 corridor as we get into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Into Thursday morning, we're going to see the winds picking up in central and southern Wyoming and parts of northern and eastern Colorado, and that's going to cause blowing and drifting. This is going to make Interstate 80 very difficult to open. We had a lot of snow come in with a northeasterly wind, and that causes snow to accumulate on the wrong side of snow fences because the snow fences are set up for prevailing winds coming in from the southwest. But now those northeast winds will become southwest winds Wednesday into Thursday, and that's going to take the snow and put it right back onto the other side of the road, causing blowing and drifting. And that's going to make I-80 tough to stay open. So any travelers trying to get across I-80 in southern Wyoming, it's going to be extremely difficult for the next 4 to 5 days. Making it more difficult is another snow event. This next round of snow is a completely different animal than what just happened. What just happened was a storm, a low-pressure system coming off the coast of Washington and Oregon and swinging through the Four Corners area of the Central Rockies. This next snow event is a combination of that Canadian air coming in from the northwest, that Pacific moisture we talked about, but also a really strong jet stream wind that's going to go on a line from British Columbia southeast across Montana, the Continental Divide of Wyoming, and the Continental Divide of Colorado. We call this northwest flow, and it's very moist and energetic moist northwest flow. And the reason why this is a snow producer is that when air moves from a high latitude to a lower latitude, it causes extra spin. We call this conservation of potential vorticity, a fancy word for more spin. More lift happens when air moves from the northwest to the southeast. We'll have 130, 140, 150 mile per hour jet stream winds along that, causing more lift, and that causes moisture to also be drawn in from the Pacific Northwest. Also, when you take the wind and you take it at an angle to the Continental Divide from the northwest, the topography helps lift the air even more. So, what we're going to see late Wednesday, but especially Thursday into Friday, is basically another round of snow for parts of Montana, Wyoming, and especially north central and northwest Colorado as we work our way into late Wednesday through Friday. Some of that snow is going to bleed out onto the plains, especially the I-25 corridor. We see Denver to Cheyenne, maybe up to Wheatland, and maybe Casper getting into the act, getting some snow accumulations during that stretch. We're going to see big snow in the mountains. This pattern, this moist northwest flow into the Continental Divide, tends to be a big snow producer for places like the Sierra Madres, the Snowy Range, the north central mountains of Colorado north of I-70, as well as the Bighorns and the Wind Rivers and the Yellowstone Plateau. In fact, it's the best wind direction for the mountains of central Colorado, central and southern and northwestern Wyoming to get a big snow. We could see 1, 2, 3 feet of snow in the southern mountains of Wyoming and northern Colorado out of this system between Wednesday night into early Friday. We're also going to see snow falling again on I-80 from Cheyenne to Laramie to Rawlins to east of Rock Springs. So if you have to travel, it's going to be a mess, especially on that I-80 corridor and roads adjacent to I-80. If you're a skier and a snowmobiler, this is going to be a big snow dump. You're going to find incredible snow this weekend on the ski slopes, but we're perfectly set up for avalanches because that warm period we had in late January and the first weekend that we had here in February, that caused a crust to form. So now we're going to put a bunch of snow on top of it. So we're going to have an enhanced avalanche danger coming to the central and northern Rockies this weekend and into early next week. Then we've got another weather system that could possibly bring snow to the mountains and plains on Sunday. So we can't even talk about that. We've already had too much to talk about here for the next 4 to 5 days, but stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll keep you updated on a very active, very energetic, very busy weather pattern for the high plains and Rockies. So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. Tune in tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Have a good Tuesday.